All right, hey, what's up guys? Today we're gonna talk about how to buy your first gun correctly. So I got my buddy, I've seen him in a couple videos already. T.
How's it going?
So T hasn't bought his first gun yet. So he literally asked me, I was in the car, he called me, he was like, hey man, I'm looking to get a gun. What do you think I should get? And I was like, oh, let's just do a video about it. So T, what's your current situation like? Are you in a house, an apartment, are you in the city, in the country, family, no family?
Okay, so currently I live in a house. We're in the city, but it's not like downtown or anything like that. So I guess the suburbs.
Okay.
And keep in mind, I also got two little ones in the house. So
okay.
That's a big concern as well. And you know, these are genuine questions I have about purchasing a gun, and I'm sure that other people have as well.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Okay, so some of the information you always hear is, you know, oh, just get a shotgun to protect the home, and then somebody's like, oh no, you need to have this handgun or get you a revolver. So
yeah,
I understand that over time you build a collection, but
yeah,
I got to start with one. So where do I start?
Right. Yeah, and that's like a great question to ask because a lot of people, they just go buy something and then it turns out that they hate it. So I'm going to pick up a gun here. This is safe and clear. This is a Glock Model 17. So what I do when people come in is I take the gun apart. I can't show that on YouTube, so just a second, bear with me. All right, so the gun is apart. So I say, here, check this out. I hand them the polymer frame and the slide. The slide's made of steel. Where do you feel the weight?
Here.
Yep. So all the weight is in the slide. How much weight do you feel in the frame?
This is super light.
Yeah, it's almost nothing.
Feels like paper.
Yeah. So when we're picking out a gun, what we want to do is we want to go, first of all, based off our hand size, because if we can't hold the gun correctly, it doesn't matter. But then we also want to be mindful of this weight distribution because people will typically go small because they're like, oh, let me just get a small cute little gun that fits in my purse or whatever that can fit on me, and they go too small. So because this weight is distributed like this, the smaller we go, the smaller this frame is going to get, so we have less to hold on to, and then the smaller the slide is going to get. So a couple things with that. When we go to a smaller slide, it weighs less, so it has less capability of absorbing that recoil. And then you have your sight distance here. You got your front sight and your rear sight. The shorter those get, people start to shoot high, and we have less confidence shooting out at distance 10, 15, 20 yards, so on and so forth. So that's first. I'm gonna put it back together here. So then the next thing is we wanna figure out what's your lifestyle like. Are you considering carrying it, leaving it at home? What are you thinking?
I'll go hunting every weekend. No, no. So ideally, I would like to, you know, conceal carry. So I do want to be able to take it with me. Yeah, but definitely gonna have it at home for home defense. That's kind of primary.
Okay. Okay, cool. So to his previous point, people get told, buy a shotgun, get a rifle, whatever. That's all well and good, but first, I would say get a handgun. Because if you get a handgun, you can conceal that and take it with you. You get some 12 gauge shotgun, you're not stuffing that in your pants under your shirt. It's going to be extremely difficult, practically impossible to conceal. So we want something that we can have some type of maneuverability with. Stuff could happen at home, happens at home all the time, but it's more likely to happen outside in the streets. So either way, you can have this on you in the streets. You can also use this to defend your home.
Makes sense.
So yeah, so now with you talking about concealability, you're bigger than I am, but you're in shape. I know, because I go to the gym with this guy, and he's like shoulder pressing 90 pounds. It's insane. So this might be a little big. Like if you just stick that, you can just stick it in your waistband, and let's see how it looks. So you put your shirt over it. If we got the right holster, you know, if we got like maybe a tier 1 concealment or something, there's different ways that you can appendix carry. I know people who appendix carry Glock 34s just to prove that printing isn't real. But he could get away with it. So he could get away with the Glock 17. So that's the first thing that we want to understand. You could, depending on your size, conceal a full size gun.
Okay.
Now, how comfortably are you going to conceal it every day? Because we're not getting in shootouts every day.
Right.
Yeah. So I would say we might want to move to a compact size. So I got a Glock 19 here. So I'll trade off with you here.
Oh, that's definitely smaller.
Smaller, and if he has a holster, it's going to be easier to conceal. So I have a whole video talking about concealed carry tips you need to know with my buddy Mahari. Go check that video out. I talk about how to conceal the gun all the time, but he could do this. And you got to think about, you know, what are you wearing when you're concealing? Because like me, I have on a bomber jacket right now. So like you were talking about, you're going to have a collection. I always tell people, you're going to buy at least 3. You're going to have like a carry gun that's more comfortable to carry every day. You're going to have a full-size gun that's easier to shoot. You get a better grip. You get more rounds to defend your life. Longer sight radius. It doesn't beat you up as bad. And then you're going to have an AR-15.
Okay. Probably doesn't help them wearing a medium shirt either.
Yeah. It's medium. But also, like some people, depending on like the weather and you know what type of climate they're in, they carry bigger guns because they have jackets. So yeah, like I typically don't switch out what I'm carrying. I pretty much carry the same thing all the time. But some guys are like, oh, I'll carry the Glock 19 in the summer. I can conceal it better, and in the winter, I might carry a 17.
Okay.
Or something like that. I saw the movie 6 Underground with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And in the movie, he's got a bomber jacket. And I saw he was like moving the bomber jacket out of the way to get to the gun. I was like, I'm getting 2 right now. And I went to the store. Like right after I turned the movie off, and I bought 2. And then Jessica, shout out to Jessica. Jessica bought me one. Because it's all about looking cool. Not really, but it's like 40%.
It's important.
Yeah, it's important. You want to be comfortable, you want to, you know, train a lot, and then you also want to look cool. So another route we could potentially go is with this. So this is a subcompact. So the first one, Glock 17, was a full size. Glock 19 was a compact. This is a CZ P10S. That slide stop is really, really tough, so you might have to take the mag out and then push it down.
Okay.
But we got the, and the CZs, the slide stops on the CZs, slide stop meaning this right here, you push it down, it sends a slide forward. It's really tough on brand new CZs, but.
I'll be honest with you, this feels really small, and it's a bit uncomfortable, at least in my hands. The grip is just not as comfortable as the other guns were.
Yep. Okay, cool. So that's T's thing. T's like, man, this is a little too small for me. I think it's all right. I think it's doable. I would consider it personally for me, but everybody's different, so that's a good point. When we go to subcompacts, it's all about convenience. And I wouldn't recommend somebody getting their first gun as a subcompact.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah, because people come into the store and they're like, oh, hey, I got this tiny gun, never shot it before. All right, bet. let's go shoot it. I don't even say anything. I don't try to yuck anybody's yum. I'm like, all right, if that's what you want, cool. And then we get out in the range and they start shooting it, and it has more concussive force. It's hard to hold on to. Their wrists hurting, their hands hurting. So smaller isn't always better. I would recommend staying within the the compact to full size range first. Compact to full size, not subcompact. And then training. And then if you're like, oh, hey, I want another one because you're going to get 3 anyway. Then the second one could be, let me go a little bit smaller, because now you have a better understanding of 7 fundamentals of shooting. You put more training behind you. You know what you're getting into instead of it being your first one, and then you don't want to train because it kind of sucks.
Okay. So you kind of led me into another question I have. So right now you just showed me 3 or 4 different guns here.
Yeah.
I don't own a gun, so I don't have any experience knowing what feels right. Like I was able to tell that it didn't feel. So how would someone be able to go and see if, hey, does this right for me? Does this not feel right? What would you recommend?
Yeah, great. Yeah, good questions. So take a class with a private instructor. You know me, so we'll just shoot. But like if you don't have access to a private instructor or something, go try to find one. Now, not all private instructors are equal, so to speak. Like I have, as an instructor, training standards that I need to upkeep. But if somebody is like doing his own private thing, there's nobody really doing checks and balances and saying, hey man, you staying up to date on stuff? You staying up to date on your training? So, vet people before you work with them. But as an instructor, I'm going to say, all right, cool, let's take a compact and let's take a full size and let's go out on the range and shoot. And I'm going to diagnose your shots as we're shooting. And then we're going to see what you shoot better with and what feels more comfortable as you're shooting. And if you're like, hey, I shot the 19 and the 17, I don't really know yet, then I'd be like, oh, okay, let me see your hand size. Okay, cool. Maybe we go to, let's find something else here that kind of fits that. Maybe we go to something like the FN 509. This is a pretty popular gun. So maybe I'm like, hey, let's take a FN 509 out and shoot that. We don't want to be in a rush. Like, I mean, I get it. Some people, they feel like they're in danger, so they just really want to buy something, or they live in a bad neighborhood and they're like, I need to buy something right now. I understand it, and cool, do that. But if you have time, you don't have any Russians coming after you because you owe money, then let's get out here and try several guns and see what feels different. Because how does that feel compared to? Yeah.
This feels good, man. I'm looking at the price tag.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like this.
Yep. See, every gun's going to feel different. So, okay. T has been shooting for a little bit. So let's do this. Point the gun out there and press the trigger on it. All right, rack the slide and press the trigger again. And we're just dry firing to feel what the trigger's like and feel, get a sense of what these sights look like. Sights are interchangeable. What's more important is where our hand fits on the gun. Does it feel comfortable in our hands, and is it easy for us to shoot? You can. That feels good.
Feels very good.
So, okay, now let's see. What size is this comparable to? Okay, yeah, this is like Glock 17 size. So now dry fire the Glock 17. After shooting, even if it's somebody's first time coming in, and we just shoot a box of 50 rounds, because 50 rounds is going to wear you out. It's going to wear you out. If you're a new shooter, like brand new, never shot, yeah. So after shooting 50 rounds, what I typically do is take people to the sales counter of whatever gun range I'm in. Right now we're in the National Armory. Shout out to National Armory for letting us do this here. And then I'm like, all right, let's touch a few other guns, and you can just dry fire those. And after 50 rounds of like instruction, because I'm teaching about how to you know, take out the slack. I'll do it left-handed so you can see. Take out the slack up to the wall, press through the wall without moving the sights, all that stuff. Instead of just going in, oh, we're just burning 50 rounds, don't know what to get yet. We actually have some, you know, discipline in what we're doing. Once they feel that, just if they only used one gun, they can come here, play with like 4 or 5 and be like, oh, I like this better. I'll probably want to buy this more than what we shot. It's like, oh, yeah, cool, praise God, you know? So that's like the steps that I take people through. What other questions would you might have?
Okay, so the, you know, high on the priority list, safety. Like I said, I got a couple little ones at home. What would you recommend for like gun storage and, you know, just being safe around with the weapon at home?
So we did a video together, and BJ's in the back off camera, you can't see him, but we did a video talking about like, can you get to your gun fast enough, basically, and we were racing to different locked cases, trying to open it quickly to see what would work better. I would recommend Vaultec.
Yes.
Vaultec, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we like Vaultec. It's easy to get to because you want like this balance of, I can get to it quickly, but my 3-year-old can't open it.
Okay.
With that, you also just want to be mindful of like, how old are they? Like, can they really get a gun and, you know, and press the trigger and whatever? It's 5 pounds of pressure. If they're too young, maybe not. But the biggest thing I would do is teach your kids about gun safety. Mm-hmm. I do classes all the time. Been getting a lot of people from California. At least they're coming here and they want to shoot. You know, they're not coming here talking about, at least the ones that I've seen, talking about all that nonsense, but they'll come in with the whole family like, oh, we've never shot a gun before. And I'll teach the kids, and then once the kids shoot, they're like, I'm gonna go play Fortnite.
Right.
Like, they don't care anymore. And at least they know the safety. They know, you know, if you see a gun, don't touch it, leave the area, call an adult. So nobody benefits from ignorance of safety. So I'd say that's probably the biggest thing, and making sure that, yeah, you can lock it away, but it's not so locked up, but you can also like get to it quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. So let's talk budget, man, because I was looking at some of these prices.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I'm gonna build out a collection,
$10,000.
What price range, you know, should I be expecting? I understand it can vary, you know, depending on the gun and the make and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
what's a realistic budget for a decent handgun?
I would say $600.
Okay.
Yeah. $6,000. Yeah.
Okay, $600.
About $600. You can buy guns online. You might find a deal, but you'll have to get it transferred to a dealer that's licensed to sell firearms, and then you pay additional fees.
I thought you were gonna say 3D printed.
Yeah. No, what? Huh? That's crazy. So, yeah, about $600, I'd say, is a happy medium.
Okay.
For your first gun, man, I'm typically going Glock, CZ, Shadow Systems, Canic. Let's see what else. Sig Sauer. I like the P365 series. Okay. That's good. Anything P365 is good. And all of that kind of hangs around $650-ish.
Okay.
So, and then when you're looking at the Canic, a lot of people haven't caught on to Canic yet. It's coming. Mahari talked about it. In the concealed carry video that we did. It's coming. The price is going up, but you can still get that for like maybe $550.
Yeah.
And CZ is like, I just got a P10F.
Yeah.
And that was $430.
Okay.
So you can find a little bit lower, but I would expect to pay $600 before tax.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. The gun's useless without ammo.
Yeah.
High level, what do I need to know without getting too deep?
So when you buy a gun, I would get hollow point defensive rounds.
Couple points. Okay.
So just buy one box. Now if it's Glock or something, it's a Glock. So it's gonna eat everything. It's just gonna run. When I say eat everything, like you're gonna put whatever ammo in there, you're gonna press the trigger, it's gonna cycle, you're gonna press the trigger again, and it's gonna keep cycling, it's gonna work. I don't know about FN. I don't have a whole lot of experience shooting FN. What we're looking for is we want to get hollow points and go straight to the range. Probably be a box of 25 for the hollow points, and we want to make sure that everything works and we don't get this, or we don't get failure to feeds or some type of malfunction. So buy a box of 25 rounds of defensive ammo, and then if it feeds well with your gun, then buy a couple more boxes.
Okay.
So you can have that set up for your self-defense. Defensive rounds, and then you want, I would say at least, like bare minimum starting out, get 500 rounds of like target ammo, full metal jacket, ball ammo, whatever.
Okay. Just
to have, so in case the world ends, at least you have more ammo on hold, or in storage, because whenever the news gets excited about something, or there's a political thing going on, everybody comes in and buys all the guns and all the ammo. So that's not the time you want to be like, oh, I bought that gun 7 months ago, I didn't get any ammo. So yeah, at least 500 rounds. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So getting comfortable with the gun is obviously important, which is training with the weapon. But how frequently do I need to really be in the range to get comfortable with it?
Yeah, man, good question. All right, so how often we want to train is ideally once a week. Okay. Like once a week. Once a week you want to come in and you want to burn an hour, like of focused drills. That doesn't count for like coming in and plinking around and like having fun with your buddies. Like instruction, you're getting better. It adds up. Like people are worried about, let's see. So the cost of this FN right now, I don't know if I can say that. I don't know if the store's like, but FN costs more than Glock. And people are like, oh man, the price of this FN is blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Like, man, that's the least of your worries. The real price is in what you're gonna spend in ammo.
Okay.
Ammo and paying for classes.
Okay.
So it adds up for a lot of people. So I would say if you could do every 2 weeks, that's cool. Yeah. No further out than every 3, because if you start having like months in between training, you're starting over each time.
I know what it's like.
Yep.
Okay.
And then you're like, wait, what? How do I, what? Yep, it leaves you.
Okay, so you're saying at minimum every 3 weeks, which is about once a month, but ideally you want to be in here weekly.
Yeah, once a week, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so the gun buying process, man, you hear so many different things about permits and rules, and it can make you feel a little bit intimidated. So what do I need to know in terms of like the laws? Do I need to have any type of special licenses or anything like that to go purchase a firearm?
Yeah, so that's another good question. Yeah, man. So I'm a big proponent of getting the carry permit because I teach that class. And for the trolls, I talk with self-defense attorneys and people who work for the state.
I've been through his class, he's all right.
I'm not just pulling the stuff out of thin air. We have permitless carry in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. The slang is constitutional carry. Mm-hmm. Other states have it. I wish it was as simple as, hey, I'm gonna go in, do a background check, buy a gun, put it on my hip. I don't need any other certification because it's my right to defend my life. And I wish that didn't come back to bite you in court, but it does. I said in another video about how the state, they came in and audited the carry permit class, and they told me that 96% of the time you're looking at a civil lawsuit. You could also be looking at criminal charges, even if like you did everything right. Castle doctrine, stand your ground law, everything was right, but the judge was anti-gun, the DA was anti-gun, the jury's anti-gun, because they're going to be like, oh, this gun is big and black, so black things are scary, you're a school shooter. Like, yeah. So You're going to have to pay to get expert witnesses to come in. They're not cheap, so they can corroborate your story and stuff like it's a lot. So 95% of people who have a permit look more favorable than people who don't.
Okay.
So I would get the permit. Man, we could burn another 30 minutes easy just talking about like how people get railroaded defending themselves in their home. Right. Tennessee has castle doctrine. It's a clean shoot, everything's great. Well, it's not great, but they, neutralize the threat in their home, and they're still looking at 50 years for murder when somebody broke into their house. And then the DA is like, oh, well, and the prosecutor's like, oh, well, see, Torrin bought a gun. He doesn't even have a permit because he was looking to kill. Right. So I would do that, even to just get a better understanding of the law. Yeah. Because I get a lot of people that come in here and they don't understand the law, and they have this skewed view of what shooting is, because they've just seen John Wick and stuff.
Okay.
So I literally got a guy one time, he came in and I was like, man, you're gonna want to train, you're gonna want to come in every week. Yeah. He was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. If somebody's out of my property, I'm just gonna run through the back door and shoot him in the head. I was like, whoa, okay. Yeah. So we took the target out at 3 yards, we hit the range, and we're hitting like a target this size at 3 yards, taking our time. Man, you got all the time in the world to just not move the gun. He's hitting the top of the sign or hitting off the paper. And I was like, hey man, what happened to that shooting in the head? When you gonna shoot him in the head, dude?
While he's moving.
Yeah, while he's moving and while you're moving. So I would say when you buy the gun, these are the steps. Buy the gun, come in, get training. Back up. We want to get training, try out several guns first, then buy the gun, then get some more training with that gun, learn how to clean it, stuff like that, then take a carry permit class so you can learn the law, and then it'll look better for you in court. Everybody has something to say. They're not going to pay the $150 on average in the state of Tennessee. It's $150 to $500,000 to defend yourself in court after you shoot somebody. The trolls in the comments aren't going to come pay that for you, so you want to make sure that you square yourself away. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I understand you saying the permit is important, but you're saying don't wait to get the permit before you get the gun. Get the gun and then get the permit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and the other question I have for you is, sometimes you watch the news, they make it seem like people just walk into the store and you trade a pack of bubble gum and you get a rifle. Yeah. And then other times you hear stories about people, it took 6 months before I got approved. So what is the expectation when I say, okay, here's my money, I want to buy this gun, I know there's a background check coming, what do I expect with the time frame after that?
So you come in, I know in here, they do it, well, first of all, everything's electronic. So you do a background check. People don't think that you do a background check. They think, you trade a pack of bubble gum, but they do. It's just, I think it's through the FBI and Tennessee Department of something. I'm not exactly sure because I'm not working that part in the store. But you come in, you say, hey, I want this gun. I want this Glock 19. They say, okay, great. We need your driver's license. We need, all these other things. And then you start the background check process. That typically takes, if you don't have anything weird, it could, let's say you moved from California to Nashville, and you've only lived here a week, and then you try to buy a gun. They might be like, whoa, time out. It might take a day for that background check to come back, because they're gonna be like, well, what are you doing? So I don't agree with that, but that's kind of how it works. But if you've just been living in your state or whatever for quite some time, and you're in a free state, you're not in, New York, California, New Jersey, something like that. Okay. What I've seen is 20 to 30 minutes for the background check to come back. Okay. Once it comes back, you take it home.
Okay. Well, you said something weird came up. I thought you were going to say, the fact that I'm a 7-time felon might be.
7-time felon, what? I care about a case.
Okay.
That's T.I., by the way.
Last question. How long does it take for me to become John Wick?
Oh man, I would say it kind of depends on you.
Seriously, yes. Well, if you're me, you know, it took me 2 weeks.
Yeah, we got a video coming with Dwayne. Dwayne's the head instructor at the Franklin range. Dwayne's been shooting. He was a school teacher, and he's been shooting for only 2 years. And now he's already the head instructor at the Franklin range. So
Crazy.
And he just repped it out. I know a guy who, he came from California. He's in the music industry. I work with him a lot. And he just came in and was like, dude, treat me like a baby. I'm just ready to learn, whatever you say, I'm gonna do it. And he just was in here like I would come in to train other people and see him in here training in between our training sessions. Like he's just in here by himself repping it out. So he got pretty darn good within 3 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I came into a defensive class and he was in the class and he had all the tactical gear. He was like, what's up, man? I was like, what are you doing here? He was like, oh man, just training.
Nice.
So you gotta also do it, like train with an instructor, but also go train by yourself too. You'll hear things, or you'll like experience things differently, because then you don't have me in your ear telling you stuff, and you gotta kind of like feel it and experience it by yourself, and you're gonna start to correct yourself. But yeah, like consistently, I'd say if you're doing it consistently and getting training with somebody else, an instructor or somebody, I'd say it could be 3 months, probably about 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of John Wick, you know there's gonna be a spinoff, right?
Oh, I didn't know.
On Donnie Yen's character.
Oh yeah. Yes. Great. I was waiting on that. I was hoping they would do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, that's pretty much all the questions I got for you. Definitely feel a lot more confident in actually, you know, making the purchase. So appreciate it.
Yeah.
Man.
Sweet, man. Yeah. That's it. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this. I'm not even gonna say like share it with everybody. Just share it with 5 people. Share it with 5 people. You know 5 people. You can count off your fingers 5 people. Just share it with them so they can get some help. Everybody needs to see this, because I see a lot of people coming in not having any type of guidance or anything, and they make bad decisions, and that bad decision costs $800. So appreciate it, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Appreciate you, T. Romine.